Hi, Diane here. So, thank you so much for purchasing the Siam Sales Page Template. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can edit this page to match your brand and to have your own copy. But before that, let me explain to you the structure or the components of a page editor. So once you've installed the template and go inside the page editor, you will see the left panel. It has two tabs. The first one is the sections where you can see all the sections here. And each of these sections are also these sections on the right display. The first thing that you would do is first go to settings tab and then the style guide and then fill in all this information like your primary color, your button color, and if you want a rounded button or not rounded, you can do that. And then you can also have or use the native font styles inside the Kajabi page. Or if you have your own brand font and you need help or support in installing it, let me know. I'll be happy to do that for you. And then if you scroll more, you can edit the font colors, the desktop font sizes, and at the bottom would be the mobile font sizes. I would suggest that if you are using, say, 56 pixels for the desktop, it may not look good on mobile. So you make sure you decrease the font size in mobile. After that, um, editing the style guide, if you click on the primary color and you don't see the brand guides here, what you can do is when you log into your Kajabi account, you can click on the settings at the bottom left and then go to site details, fill in all this information and your logo here, your favicon, and all your color palettes. Once you have saved this and you can refresh this so that the colors here will be auto-populate. And then after doing that, you can go to design tools. You can click this show guides and hit save. It's a guide for you to know the width, the columns, and it may feel distracting if you have that. So you can just uncheck that. And then the custom code, you can edit this as well. So if your style guide and your button color is this one, that would follow whatever you have. But when you hover, you'll be able to see that this is a black color or a darker shade. In the custom code, you see I have a little note here that this is the custom code for the button. You can then change the hover color. I do have a little note here that you can use as a guide. Say the background color when you hover. This is where you can change the hover color. Let's change it to white. And then the color, instead of white here, we'll change it to a darker shade. And then hit save. That would automatically be changed. Now, um, if you feel that the font size is not visible enough, you can change from the top. You can change the font sizes here. The font size, sorry, weight, if you feel it, the regular weight is okay or not, you can change it to 600 or to 200. That will be very thin. If you are changing this to here, or if you want to change the letter spacing to a bit narrow, then you can do so. But make sure when you change something here, like the font sizes, the font weight, and the letter spacing, you are also changing it here and here. So that goes the same with the form. I don't think I have a form here, but if you scroll down more, you will see the form button here. And this is the hover settings, and this is the hover settings. So once you're happy with your how you have designed your button color, you can now go back to the sections panel and then start the editing. Otherwise, if you don't feel the hover effect, you can just remove this code here down to the very last code right here. You'll see another note here. So this is the whole code for the button. So we're done with the settings. Now for the sections, currently you've noticed that there's no heading. Usually for a sales page, there's no heading because you want your audience to focus on the buttons and not to navigate away from your sales page. So the header at the top is currently hidden in the desktop and in mobile. Now, also for these sections here, there are renamed based on what I have created for you. And you'll notice that there's a D and M here. So D stands for desktop and then M stands for mobile. The desktop it means that this section here, which is this one, is only visible for desktop. And this hero mobile is only visible for mobile. Now, if I click this mobile here and go to desktop layout, I can uncheck that. And this is how it looks like. So the good thing about the Encore theme is that you have the capability of hiding sections in desktop or in mobile or in just make it visible for both desktop and mobile. And then so that's the sections. Now, if I go here, this is the core problem section. You can actually rename that by clicking the three dots and there. And then hit check once you're done. Now, inside the section, there is also settings here. Like, for example, this one, you can update that under the background settings. Um, this is the core problem, my bad. So let's go to hero section. So this one, you can update that. You'll notice it has different color. It's because there's an overlay color. Now, if I change this to something yellow and then reduce the opacity, that will have a different effect. And then down here, you can under the section, you'll also have the desktop layout and the mobile layout. Um, the desktop layout, if I hide this, okay, where are we now? Let me undo that. Oh, I have saved it. My bad. A bit of technical difficulty here. It won't change. Undo. You can see at the top right, there's undo and redo button. You can simply click that, or in your hotkey, you can click on Control Z for undo, or I think in Mac it's Command Z. All right, so going back, let's take a look at this section here. This section here, it has different blocks. So this would be the icon, and there's a little spacer here when you hover. This is the headline, and this is the checklist. So these are the components of the section plus the actual section settings. If you think you want to add more, let's say add a text here, inside the section, you can click on add content and then find that text block and you can add another one here. And you can just select these words and choose whatever settings you want to do here or here. And then now, now we know the components of the section. Now let's go to the block. Inside the block, say this one. Um, Let me enable first the style the guide so you can see. All right, so say I'm here. You don't need to click on back and then sections and then go to core problem. You can just simply hover the block that you want to edit and then click on it, the left panel will show you where you can edit that specific block. If I want to edit this, then that will be changed right here. Or if I want to change the background here without going back to this main panel, I'll just click any space here or maybe space here without touching the hover, and that would go directly to the section. So when editing a text, for instance, there are two ways. It's either I click the actual block here and then type in the text, or I can hover and click and edit this. That would automatically populate here. It's a new feature in the Encore theme that you can now edit the text inside the text block in the right display instead of going here. But if you prefer of editing right here, you can just simply click on the full screen and then edit here. Close it, and then you're good to go. If you don't think that italic is necessary, you can just simply click that, or you can do it here. You can also change the colors by clicking the text color and then change it to something else. And if you made a mistake, just undo it or redo it. Now, if you feel that this heading 2 is too small, you can choose heading 1. So it's a lot bigger. Now, for the image block, I don't need to go back and click on the back here. I can just click this image block here, and the left panel will show me where I can edit that. So let me tell you that this one has 2 columns here. If I expand that to 800, this one will not be changed because in the image block, there's an image width. Unless I change it to 500, that will also be a bigger image. If I select 200 columns, it will not be that big, but it would consume a lot of space. So just make sure that you use the right column and the image width that would fit to your branding. All right, and then next, this thin gold line, I'll show you where that is. It's a gold image divider. It doesn't have a block inside. It's not an image block, but a very thin background image. All right, so now let me go here to the specific block here. You'll notice that there's a padding here inside the text block. So a while ago, I have discussed to you this desktop layout. This one would be the text block, and there's also a desktop layout and a mobile layout. Let me show you what a padding is. A padding is when you add a number and then it increases the space around it. The inside padding will be just inside the actual block. So if I make this at 200, that will create a lot of space here. If I create it at 0, that would be 2 feet. Now, the outside padding will create space between the block on top of it. Say I want to put in 250. This one will be like this tall. So if I put in negative 300 or negative 100, that would go up here. So just be careful in using negative. You can use negative 20 to make it a bit closer or a bit wider to each other. It would be like so. Now, um, the the columns here, let me tell you how you can edit that. So for example, this text block is using 500 width. This image block here is at 4, and then this one here is at 3. So when you add 5, 4, and 3, that makes it 12. Now, you can only have 12 columns in a row. So if I make this text block at 6 or even at 7, that would be here. So you don't want to do that. Or if this image is not necessary, just go ahead and click on that. Down here is the delete block. And then you notice that this is all indented here. What you can do in the section, I'm in the section, I click this or just go to desktop layout, and there's a horizontal alignment here. I can make it to the left or to the center. And then maybe I can make this wider and this one bigger. So you'll also notice that this image block here is in square. This is actually coded so that when you upload an image, it's already shaped like that. There are more images like that here, like this. And don't worry if you don't think that this is necessary. What you can do is let me just put it back to where it was. Let's just go back to the custom code and then just expand this. Right below the form, so I have a little note here. And why your audience have to choose this product of yours? This is the left image and this is the right image. What you can do here, I'll put some notes here. Um, if I make that at 0 and maybe make this at 100 and save that, that will automatically change the shape. Or if it's too curvy, I can just change it to 50 and then maybe 50 as well. Whatever number up to 100 is okay. And that's how it would look like. Now this one here is here. You can also change this something else, a different shape. And then this brown or orange thin border, it is actually this one. So if I change that to black, this is how it would look like. And then next for the testimonial, what I would suggest is when you click that, click first the edit mode and then start editing your text here. Maybe you don't want all uppercase and you want smaller here, and then change this to heading 4 and then italic and want to change the color. You can do that, and then you can update the icon here. You can make it smaller by going to the image style. As long as when you upload an image here, if you want to edit this or this, just scroll down and you'll see more options here. So once you're happy with that, go back, delete this one, and then click the three dots and duplicate that. By doing so, you'll be able to copy the text here. And if I click on the second testimonial, I can just simply add the text here without, going through the font color, the heading style. There you are. Once you're happy with that, go back to the main section and then uncheck this edit mode and then hit save. The mockup here, I have a different tutorial on how you can update your mockup and then upload that. So when you click on this image block, you can just simply upload a new one from your Google Drive or from your laptop or if you have a desktop. And then next, say you want to change the text on your button. Same goes with the text. You can just hover and you can just start um, texting here, or inside, this one is inside the text block. you can then click on the call to action button and then change the word here. Or if you want to hide that, you can just uncheck this and that's it. And then the logo here, this is also crucial depending on if you need this on your sales page. Um, you can only, this is in two columns, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if I add more by clicking on the three dots and then duplicate, that would be that would go down here on the next line. So just to make sure you have the right column number. Now, when you updated your image here, I would suggest you have the same image sizes so you don't have to play with the image width. Otherwise, you have to adjust the image width if one of your logos is bigger than the other. And another thing here is that it's also crucial in mobile, which I'll discuss later on. In mobile, when you see this would consume a lot of scrolling here. So what I do, remember the desktop and mobile hide option. If I click one of the images here and then go down to mobile, I'm gonna hide it. And then this logo here, I'm gonna hide this and all this logo. Maybe I can retain one, but I need to duplicate that. And just to make sure, I'll scroll down and hide that in desktop, but make it visible for mobile so that right now you see five logos, but in mobile, you will only see, maybe this one was not hidden yet, you will only see one. So this logo here, I would suggest you to create a new image with all the logos already so that there could be a logo here and then another logo here and then another logo, which will have two columns. So your audience does not need to scroll a lot just looking at the logo. All right. So after that, you can definitely edit this. Now, this is a feature section, not a text block. The feature section has an image block at the top. You can also add a CTA if you enable that, if that applies to you. Otherwise, you can just uncheck that. You can update this to something else. This is currently an icon. So if I go to image style, this is smaller. But if you feel that you need to include an image here, you can just, so this is in four columns. You can just choose maybe 400. Even if you put in 600, it will not go bigger because your column is only up to 400. So just have it in 400. Now, there will be times that one feature is longer than the other, and that would create misalignment. What you can do, go to the section, go to the desktop layout, the vertical alignment would be on top and have it in equal heights. If you don't choose that, it would look like that. So always choose the top because this is top. So even if I add more here, this background image here will be the same height. Now this one here, you see if this is not your brand color, if you click one of the feature block, you'll find the background color here and you can change that to something else. Or if you don't think that a thin line is necessary, then you can just choose none for the border type. You can actually make it thicker if you want to. Let me remove that so you can see. I'm clicking undo. You can make that thicker and change the color as well. All right, so here, this one, if I click on the background section, you can just click on the background and change it here. You can definitely upload a video background, but make sure you also have a background image, because if the mobile is set to battery saver mode, the video background will not play in mobile. So it's always have it needs to have a background image here. And then I also have a different tutorial on how you can update this, or if you have a different mockup for your modules, you can do so. If I click this image right here, it's all labeled. If you need to add more, you can just select this image number 4 and then hit the three dots and then duplicate, hit back, and then duplicate the text block. So that makes it 5. And then from here, you can edit the pre-headline and then edit the title here. Now for this one here, this is also coded like what we have earlier. If you need to change this or if you don't fill the shape, you can go back to the custom code, and then right here, you'll see this is the benefit section. This first image, second, and third. So say I want to change that to something else. So let me save that. The way you edit this, I'm not sure if I have mentioned this, but the number here from the start, from the first number, that's actually the top left, the top right, bottom right, and then bottom left. So this is the 100 here, radius, and then this one, the second number is the radius here, and then this one here is the radius here, and then here. So I hope that will be helpful for you. Now, if you think that the section is not necessary, you can just simply click the section space here and then just delete the section. Or if you think that this one is not necessary, click the text block. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the option to delete this block as well. Now, for your pricing block, you see it's currently have 2. Sometimes you'll have 3. And what you can do is just click on the 3 dots here and then duplicate. Notice that this went to the next line because this first pricing card has 500 in column, and this one has also 5. That makes it 10. And it's if we add 5, that makes 15. So you can reduce that to 4. And then this one is also 4. And then this one is also 4. So that's all in the same row. Now, remember the earlier discussion that if you want this to be all aligned, you can just go to the main section, go to desktop layout, vertical alignment to top. And if you want to have equal height blocks, you can do that. Although there's no native option to make all the buttons to be aligned, you can just remove the equal height blocks and just choose the vertical alignment here. Now, if you see the 2 buttons here, it's a new feature in Encore that this is the first call to action is the primary. And if you scroll down a bit, you will see a secondary button here. Where is that? Oh, here, the secondary button. You can uncheck that if you don't offer a second option, definitely. And then this button here, same goes with the first button. There's a button action that you can choose whether go to the checkout page, go to URL, or if you want to use the pop-up checkout. Second module then, the second CTA will also have button action depending on what you need for your pricing plans. The pricing plans can also have a background color. Just scroll down here. You'll see this background color and you can change that to something else. Like so, if you want to prioritize this one because you want this to be the first pricing that your audience needs to see, then you can do that as well. So for this one, you notice that the names are not aligned, but it has the same height. That's the earlier discussion that you'll have equal heights. Otherwise, it would look like this. So it's up to you what you prefer. You can definitely change the width here to something like that. Okay, so if you have more questions, you can simply duplicate one of these so that it copies the design. But if you don't think that this is the right design, what I would advise is to delete everything. Just delete everything and then leave at least one accordion. Once you have the last accordion, then you can start designing this. If you want to have a background color, you don't need to have a um, an outline border. Then once you're happy with that, click these three dots and duplicate it. So you don't have to go through each accordion or each block and then make it the, the same brand style. And then at the very bottom, if you have already uploaded your logo here, this will not automatically change. So what you can do, click on that, delete this block, add a content in the footer. You see, I don't need to go back to the main panel to the sections, scroll down to the footer. I can just go here and then the footer will appear here. And then I can click on add content and then add a logo. So whatever logo you put in here, ideally it's a transparent PNG, then it will automatically appear here. If you go back to the footer section, just click this and hold and drag so it will appear at the top. So that's the desktop customization. Now let me discuss the mobile. The little icons here would be the tablet in horizontal, vertical, and this is the mobile. These are not accurate, so I would advise you to access your page on your actual mobile. So this is just a guide. So this one now here is this image and this image here. The reason why I don't use the same section is because I'll show you. So I'm in the Hero desktop and I'm gonna unhide this in mobile. So remember I have hidden the mobile section. If I go to mobile, your image will be cut off because the nature of the background image is that if you have an element here on the side or here, the main focal point will be in the middle as the device gets smaller or narrower. So but if you only have like an accent textured background, you don't need a separate mobile. But right now, the design that I have is that there's a woman here and she'll be cut off if I don't create a new one. But it's still your preference. It's up to you. And definitely you can edit this. So that's the reason why I have put in her at the top and then here. You can also hide her or hide this image like that. You don't need to go inside the image and then go here. You can just simply hide that. Now, for the icon here, if I go to this section, you will also see the icon for desktop and mobile. The reason why I do that, it's because I'll show you again. I'm in the icon and then I'm gonna unhide this. This will appear very big. You see the size right now, it has the same size as this. So in if I edit this in mobile, If I make this, oh, I want to make this smaller, like 40. Okay, that's perfect. But if I go back to desktop, that would be smaller as well. So that's the reason why I have a separate um icon for mobile, like so. When you use the negative padding here, because this one is actually using negative 100, just make sure you don't overlap the block to the button. Otherwise, it will not be clickable. See, when I hover this, only until I surpass that thin line here. So just make sure it doesn't overlap any of the blocks here. If you don't see, for example, um, this one, or maybe this one, if you don't see any D or M, it means that if I edit this here, and if you go to mobile, that would automatically appear. So it's both visible for desktop and in mobile. So more of this, all good for not changing it for desktop because it has the same layout. And I think you're good to go. Okay, I think you're all set. Um, but if you have other questions or if you feel overwhelmed editing this page, just plug in all your assets, your copy, try to fix whatever you can, and then you can email me, and then I'll go into your account, see how I can help you. And then my email is in the instructions in the PDF. You can also reach out via Instagram or via the Kajabi Experts directory. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you have fun and happy editing to you. Bye bye.